let's talk about identifying trends within the market. All right. If you trade the futures and you're looking to figure out which way you need to be taking your trades, specifically, I trade a strategy surrounding supply and demand and identifying zones that way here on my charts. Now, I use range-based charts or range bar charts. So, either way, this video is going to encompass and cover how do we determine the overall trend and form a bias as far as which way we need to be trading. Okay. Now, you've got to determine if the market is making higher highs or higher lows or lower lows and lower highs. I'm going to show you from a broken down approach using a line diagram, and then we'll look at the candles as examples on a chart itself, so that we can figure out if the market is bullish and we are having structural breaks, or we're having market shifts within the market to the upside. We need to identify at what point should we be looking to take long opportunities. So first and foremost, this is all surrounding structure. You've got to determine what the overall market is doing. There's also, we have what's called reversals within the market, and I'll show you an example of that as well. Now, let's go down here and bring this chart down and just look at a basic line diagram, okay? So most of you are familiar with this concept here of the market doing what? Well, we have highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, and then a highs within the market, right? So these could be, if this is a high and this is a high, and the market each time is making higher lows and breaking the most current or recent high or previous high, then this could be an area of demand right here or an area of demand right here, because the market is in a bullish directional trend to the upside. So we can look for pullbacks to say demand here or pullbacks to demand areas here. Now, in reverse of that, if we are in a bearish trend to the downside, the market is going to look something like this right here, where we have lows, lower highs, lows, lower highs, and then lower lows. So you can see the difference in the shift within the market. If the market is trending this way, you can see that the market is moving higher, bullish to the upside, and this way, bearish to the downside. Now, yes, it can get a little bit confusing in trying to figure things out, because this can be very simplistic in looking at just a basic line diagram, because there could be multiple swings within, say, this area here or this area here. You have what's called, we like to classify as major and minor areas of structure. Minor structure is basically where you have, say, we're in a bullish trend to the upside. You have a high, an ultimate high, and then the market starts to make like little lower lows and lower highs swings to the downside, but we really haven't reversed to the downside. So you have structure that's forming within between a high and a low right here, and then the market pushes back to the upside and takes out a major, say, high, okay? Because now you have a high and a low, and it takes out a major area or a high to the upside. So that could be a major point of break of structure to the upside. So then when we look for pullback to take a continuation going to the upside. Same thing if we're moving to the downside, okay? So there are in-between areas or in-between structure within minor highs and, major highs and major lows right here, that where the market could be breaking structure back to the upside. So if you look at this, it's a bullish trend to the upside. If you look at this is a bearish trend to the downside. Now we need to identify the overall trend, right? So as long as the market is painting the picture and each time making new highs, pushing to the upside, and we're not coming down and taking out lows, okay? Meaning if we come down here and take out this low or some more lows coming lower, then the market would have a directional shift or a market structure shift to the downside, where now we are where we were once bullish, now looking bearish to the downside, like right here. So if we are, say for example, made a high in this area right here, and we make a low, lower high, and come down and break structure, we have taken out an area or a low right here and a low here. So this is a structural point right here, okay? So this will be a shift within the market to where it's coming down, taking out lows here and lows here. This will be what I like to classify as a reversal in the market, where the market was once bullish, now we are bearish to the downside. So in each approach or time that we take out a new low that the market makes, comes down, makes a new low, makes a lower high, and we're not coming back up to the upside and breaking or taking out highs, meaning the market is starting to make higher highs and higher lows back to the upside, where we're breaking and making new highs. If we're not doing that and we come down and take out the most recent low or previous low, this is a structural break to the downside, and we can look for pullback to take a continuation going short. We'll look at this on the actual chart, but this is a bullish trend to the upside, and this will be a bearish trend to the downside. Now, again, a bearish market structure shift is where the market makes a low, a lower high. It takes out a low here coming to the downside, and I'm looking forward to also take out, say, a low to the left-hand side of the chart, which would be some more structural area or more structural points to the left-hand side of the chart. So this will be classified as a reversal when the market breaks below this low and this low right here. This will be the gives the classification to where the market is now making a reversal within the market, and we also have a market structure shift. So this will be where the market shifts from being very bullish to very bearish coming to the downside. That'll be your turning point as far as your bias to determine now, okay, where we were once bullish and trending higher, now we are taking on a structural shift coming lower, a market structure shift coming lower, and now we are trending to the downside, and we should be looking for pullbacks to go short. Now let's look at this on an actual candlestick chart right quick. Now we're looking at the candle bars or range bar charts here, the candlesticks here. You can see that I'm going to show you like an example of what the market will look like if we're, pushing to the upside, or a reversal situation, for example, where we are switching from being bearish back to a bullish standpoint to where we can identify and start to look for positions to go long off of demand areas, okay? So we're looking at a market structure shift within the market to the upside where it starts to trend higher and structure starts to break, moving to the upside from a bearish to a bullish standpoint, okay? So this right here, this high right here is a market structure high, okay, or a pivotal point to where we have a push up or retracement where it makes a high, comes down, breaks structure here, and then we have a low right here. So if the market is coming off of a low, say for example, and we have a high, higher low, and we have new highs being pushed to the upside, and we taking out a structure point to the left hand side, meaning breaking structure above a pivotal high to the left hand side as we're making these new highs, higher lows, breaking structure higher, higher lows, breaking structure higher, and we have a break above this high here to the left, and we have a break above this high here, and we're breaking higher because we're trending to the upside where we're making higher highs and higher lows. This is a market structure shift to the upside to where we transform or switch from being bearish to bullish now, okay? And once we do so, we have a reversal within the market. So I'm looking I'm looking at the market, I'm looking to see if we are making highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, and breaking structure continuously to the upside, taking out highs as we move higher, and we also take out an area of structure to the left. So basically the first area of structure being taken out to the left, so we have our first high, higher low, and then we break structure to the upside, taking out this high here. I want to see an area where the market is also breaking through an area of structure to the left-hand side of the chart. So as the market was flowing to the downside, the first or the last major swing point high, when the market shifts and starts pushing back to the upside, I want to see that to be taken out. But we have to have our high, higher low, and this being our first market structure shift above this high, okay? Then we pull back, and then we have a market structure shift where we broke structure to the left-hand side of the chart. This will be a reversal once it breaks, say, for example, above this high here and this high here. This is our first break of structure to the upside. All right. And then we're looking for structure to be taken out to the left hand side. So once we do that, first structure break to the upside, got a market structure shift from a bearish to a bullish directional shift to the upside, and we take out our last swing high as we're pushing higher. This is what I'll classify as a reversal to the market. And as you can see, we continue making higher highs and higher lows once we break that area. Okay, so this is a reversal right here, and this is a market shift, structure shift to the upside here. Now the market is starting to trend higher, and we have a bullish back to a a bearish back to a bullish movement or directional flow to the upside. As you can see, we started making these highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows to the upside. So we've got structure pointing us in the direction in a bullish channel or trend to the upside. And we have where the market stopped, okay, after reversing right here, and we have this high right here. This is a major swing pivotal point to where we have a major high here. Then the market starts to do what? As we come back to the downside here, starts to make lows, lower highs, lows, lower highs and coming to the downside. So we're in between a leg, okay? A major high and a major low here. Now, what you hear me talk about a lot of times in videos is if you have a hard time trading the in between, meaning of two major points, a high and a low right here, then wait for the major area structure to be taken out. This high right here, okay? All right, because these pivotal points like right here and right here and right here, these will be classified as all minor areas of structure. This is a major high. So either the market's going to come up and break above this major high here, or it's going to come down and break structure below this major low right here, okay? In this case here, it goes back up to the upside and it breaks above, say, a major high here. We would then look for a pullback to some area of demand for a continuation to go long. Now, in this case here, as you can see, it comes down here. All right, it taps into this basically this demand area right here. This is a structural point or a demand area that broke above this major high right here, but it breaks right through it. So the zone didn't hold, and that's fine. We just have to wait for the next point of structure or a demand zone to develop that we can trade from. Okay, but I'm sharing with you that here in this, painting this on the candlestick charts here or range bar charts, we have highs and then higher highs being created, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. As you can see here, the market is very bullish in a trend to the upside. So this is where market structure breaks as the market is making higher highs and higher lows. These are the type of things that I talk about within the private community for those that choose to want to learn the strategy, which is basically the blueprint, the cornerstone to how I trade, using a very simple strategy. Trading is not complex, guys. The strategy that I talk about using supply and demand, basically looking at multi-chart confluence, I always start with my higher base chart. And you want to start from a higher perspective to determine what the market looks like overall. Okay, is it bullish to the upside, trending, making, higher highs and higher lows, or are we moving to the downside and trending in that direction? Okay, you want to find those pivotal points where the market could be also reversing to have a market structure shifts from the upside back to the downside from where it was bullish to now it is actually bearish. As you can see here, we have a strong bullish structure breaks to the upside where we have another high there, higher low, and a new high being created right here. Now, this is a turning point right here where we now would have a reversal in the market. For example, a market structure shift where we were trending higher, now starting to trend lower. So let's take a look at that right quick. Before we actually do so, if you want to become one of those members to where you can understand and start to grasp the understanding of a very simple strategy, trading the future markets, again, there's a link down below. It's titled Elite and Ultra Elite Supporters. You can click on that link. You'll see a few tiers pop up. It's all part of the YouTube membership program to where you can become a member and receive all the video content surrounding how I personally trade, which are my trade breakdowns, the video playlist, and a great video covering market structure for anyone that, kind of struggling with that term. You can become one of those members, all right? To become an elite member is very inexpensive. It's only pennies on the dollar a day. To be honest with you, $6.99 a month. But you're receiving so much added value. So I basically walk you through setup after setup after setup of trades that I've taken and posted over on our Discord community. There's also a Discord. It's the first link down in the description. You can become a member of both of them. The Discord is free to join. To become an elite supporter of the channel is $6.99 a month. That's where you get, again, all the trade breakdowns where I'm walking you through step by step the setups that I've actually taken, covering structure, price action, stop loss placement, profit target areas. So you understand from my mindset these trades that I'm actually taking. So when you are actually back testing and forward testing yourself, you know what to look for and you can find great setups on your own. Okay. Now, if you choose to become an ultra elite supporter, you can take one step up and receive my live recorded trading videos that I post for the ultra elite supporters. Okay, that tier is $14.99 a month. Okay, it's very inexpensive, guys. I'm not here to charge people hundreds or thousands of dollars, but you can learn a lot of value or added value, which is found within these videos. You can learn a lot from them if you take the time to watch the video content just as well. We have a great group of members that are part of the Discord community, and for everyone out there who's part of the elite or the ultra elite supporter tier or membership program, you're receiving, and you know that you guys are receiving that great added benefit and the value behind that extra private community of video content. Okay, so again, the link is down in the description portion of the video for anyone that wants to become either an elite or an ultra elite supporter. Very inexpensive. Okay, so again, let's talk about this right quick. So you can see right here, how do we identify that the reversal? We have a reversal in the market, okay? Well, we first have our first low here, okay? And the market makes a lower high right here. So this is a market structure shift once we break below this first low right here. Why? Because we have a low right here, okay? Or what we have here, I'm gonna show you, I'll blow up a little bit right here. We basically have a low and then another low here, right? But this is our ultimate low right here. This is actually a higher low, okay? Then we have a new low, and this is a higher low right here. Once the market breaks below this first low right here, where we have a higher low, low, and a higher low situation, and the market comes down and breaks below that low, that's a market structure shift. But as far as a full-on reversal, I want to see where it's breaking that first area of structure coming lower, but it's also taking out a area of structure to the left-hand side of the chart. That's the reversal, because that's going to give us that pattern that I talk about in a lot of my videos, where we have shoulder, head, and shoulder pattern, breaking below or having the first market structure shift below, okay, but also breaking that first market structure shift, or that first area, or there's a low right here to the downside right here to the left-hand side of the chart. This is where we have a higher low, a low, and then it makes a higher low right here, okay? So when we get that right there, the first market structure shift will break structure right here. This market structure shift to the left-hand side, that's a reversal, okay? Again, that's that head and shoulder pattern back to the downside. So once it does that, broke below that first area, market structure shift coming lower to the downside, pulls back, have a new low being created once it breaks below this low to the first area of structure being broken to the left-hand side of the chart. We get a pullback to a key area of demand on our higher range chart, okay? So basically, I'll mark that zone up. I'll mark up my zones from the higher base chart first. Once we can identify, either a supply or demand setup. This is a supply setup, aggressive selling to the downside, having a market structure shift or breaking below this low here, another one here, where we have that reversal, the market pulls back to this key area of supply here. I will mark this up and then just move down to my lower chart, which is a lower base range chart, to find an actual continuation short to move with the flow of the market, because now we have reversed head, shoulder, head, head, shoulder. I'm sorry, shoulder, head, shoulder pattern right here. This is a market structure shift. The first break of structure to the downside, another break below this low right here. So now we know we have a reversal where the market is now moving lower. First pull back to a key area of supply that's clean, where there's a high probability, what makes it a high probability setup. It pulls back to that area. We just move down to a lower chart to identify a structural break to take the market going to the downside, moving lower. This is what I talk about in those video content for the elite and the ultra elite supporters. How to identify the setups within and using the strategy, all centered around, the market trending or reversing, whether it's bullish to the upside and now reversing to the downside. How to identify those setups using a very simplified strategy surrounding supply and demand, but using top-down analysis starting from a higher base chart, figure out what's going on, all right? Then scaling down to a lower base chart once you have your zones marked up to trade in the same direction. This was a market structure shift to where the market reversed, pulling back to a key area of supply. I will look for an opportunity to go short. And then let's say it comes down here. We have another break of structure to the downside. This is a higher low, a higher low, comes down, breaks this area here of structure. Yes, this could be a pullback to maybe this area right here, to where now we would have another supply area that the market taps into it. We can look to take a continuation going to the downside with the flow of the market now, because it's reversing lower, okay? So hopefully that makes sense. These are all things that I talk about for all those that choose to become, and all those who are already either an elite or an ultra elite supporter. You can become one of those members by subscribing down below and become part of that private community. Again, it's very inexpensive. If you do the math on that, guys, let's do it right quick. $6.99 a month. Now, let's just say on average we have 30 days in a month, right? Divided by 30, that's basically 23 to 24 cents per day, okay? For $6.99, you're basically getting some valued or some added value content where I really break down things surrounding how I personally trade. It's that cornerstone, that blueprint to how I trade, I share with you guys so that you can grasp an understanding, the concepts behind and the mindset behind every trade that I actually take. Now, if you want to, join and become an ultra elite, if you do the math on that, that's basically breaks down to be 50 cents on the day. Okay. So yes, I'm not here to charge hundreds or even thousands of dollars for a trading course or for a mentorship program. I'm just basically setting you up and allowing you to become part of a community to where you can learn some added value surrounding, how I personally trade. Okay. So again, the choice is yours. If you want to really dive deeper into and understanding these breakdowns and receive the breakdown of the trades that I actually take, there is a link down below, elite or the ultra elite supporter link. You'll see it there, click on it, and then you'll have a few tiers that pop up. Once you click on and see the tiers, whether it's the elite or the ultra elite, you will see the perks and rewards that you receive. I just mentioned them before, okay? But again, once you do so, click on it, then you can become one of the members, a part of that community. And a lot of people are finding a lot of success by becoming one of those members, because they find a lot of added value. And if you don't believe me, you can come over to the Discord and just kind of ask some of the members there. There's also a testimonial section on the Discord channel itself, where people are using the same strategy. Someone placed or put a little twist on themselves, but they're passing, evaluations and challenges. So the system works. It's just all about you as a trader, the time you put into it to actually grasp and understand it. Now, again, if it doesn't work for you, then, simply move on. Nothing lost. You haven't, it's seriously just a couple dollars a month, whatever the case is, because I know that not everything is going to work for every single person, because people have to really spend the time on the charts to back test and forward test. I'm not simply saying, become a member today and then tomorrow you're going to be successful overnight. You don't know. You've got to put the time in and back test and forward test to find your edge within these markets. Okay. But again, the choice is yours. Now, I'm going to stop here and basically say, if you have not taken the time to become a subscriber and part of the actual channel itself, it's free. Simply subscribe by clicking the sub button down below. Make sure to turn on your post notifications, okay, by clicking the bell. And as soon as you do that, make sure to drop a like if you haven't already done so on the video here, okay, or in every video that you watch here on the channel. I greatly appreciate if you found some added value in by watching this video, okay? Again, this video was really to go over market structure in reference to trying to identify, the trend within the market, but also identifying those market structure shifts, that help us identify where the reversal happens, whether we're in a bullish or a downtrend market, okay? Thank you guys for watching today, and I hope everyone has a great rest of the weekend.